I asked an earlier question, when I was doing the introduction, that if, as a parent, if you had a child in this school and the child got injured through this collapse of this makeshift structure, what action would you take? What would you have done? 05511119995 is our WhatsApp number. Join us with your thoughts. If you are with us on Facebook, I want you to appreciate a facility where students bath. This is, Nigeria, please go back for me. This is where students take their bath. And it serves a multi-purpose. That is to say, for both males and females. This is where they take their shower. And for whatever, I will not show you where they do the other business. So this is where they take their bath. Boys will go do theirs, girls will go do theirs later. But the unfortunate thing is that, listen, they have a new constructed bathhouse, separate for boys, some separate for girls. They are not using that bathhouse simply because upon completion of the bathhouse, there was no soakaway, constructed. And so they cannot use it. Now that they want to construct the soakaway, I'm told that the headmaster says, don't let's construct the soakaway, let's rather get pipes. And then lay the pipes into a nearby stream so that we can use the facility. But this is where they take their shower. So lawyer Michael Osu is on the phone lines right now. And lawyer Michael Osu is a senior lecturer with the Ghana School of Law, Kumasi campus. He's also the president for the Ghana Alternative Dispute Resolution Hub. Lawyer, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
Well, thanks for your time, sir. Now, I'm sure that you followed all that has happened at Ejuraman Senior High School. And the students who have gotten injured, it's not just physical injuries, but also they have emotional or psychological injuries as well. Per the law, what action can be taken by a parent or a student under such circumstances?
Well, good morning once again, David. Looking at the circumstances, the children and the parents may very well have a legal course of action against the school board in the tort of negligence. Now, the tort of negligence requires that you must take reasonable care to avoid incidents that can adversely affect people who you ought to readily know will be affected if you do not take reasonable care in your actions. And in this case, we could potentially have a situation where a parent brings an action for negligence and would win, because I have seen a few photographs of the structure that collapsed, and there are a few questions that may be asked. When was this structure built? And who were the people who built it? Did they get a permit before the school board? Did they get a permit before they did? And knowing that this was a wooden structure mainly, which had, a roof on top, so you have a heavy load on top of wood. Were they maintaining it regularly? Were they checking it to make sure the wood was not rotten or had gotten weak or something?
So lawyer, based on what has happened, will you encourage parents, guardians to pick up this legally?
Well, as lawyers, we are not, and our ethics do not allow us to incite the taking of legal action. So that is something I'll have to avoid. But it will be up to parents to advise themselves as to what they want to do. But for me, more importantly, I think that what we should do as a society is to use some of these incidents as wake-up calls. So I think that all school boards, all district educational, authorities, the district assembly should know that with the onset of the rain and the rainstorms, all the structures in these schools ought to be tested to ensure that their structural integrity is intact. I think that is what we should be using this incident for. Although I'll also not, as it were, stand in the way of any parent who thinks that they want to bring an action against the school board or whoever they think they have a course of action against. Because sometimes it is when these things are done that people are forced to undertake the work that they ought to do and to make sure that they are not negligent in the way they handle their affairs.
So which means parents can sue. I hear you on that. But my final question to you, sir, is, so how come many a time we are reluctant in taking up some of these matters in the courts?
Well, I think it is a Ghanaian thing, If you look at, let me use a key word for litigation. Mansotrifo. In Akan, Mansotrifo is not such a good description.
It's a pleasant
so I
description.
guess that in our culture, going to court and suing to keep people on their toes, it's not really something that is ingrained. You remember that we come from a place where a lot of things are resolved amicably, and therefore you will sit down, have a dialogue, and then one way or the other come to a mutual understanding. So I guess that is why we don't have that kind of going to court mentality.
And I'm happy what you said, that if these things are done, it will push those who are put in positions to act and do the right things. Lawyer Michael also, thank you very much for your time with us this morning. Like I said, he's a senior lecturer with the Ghana School of Law, Kumasi Campus. He's also the president, Ghana Alternative Dispute Resolution Hub. Thank you very much, sir, for your time.